It's time for the next episode of the Track Check. My name is Omao and today it's about my track Stressed Out, which is my first release in 2022. So let's get straight into the project file and I will show you how the track was made. Before we start the Track Check, I want to let you know that I'm running a website about all my content and stuff. And if you have any struggles with your music or just want some help or want to talk about music related things, hit me up. And I'm also offering mixing and mastering. So here we are in the project file of Stressed Out. And as you know, I like to clean up my tracks by adding these groups. I have different groups for different reasons. I have a drums group, a bass group, even a sub bass group, and a synths group where all my synths and different instruments are inside, and a separate instrument group which is empty in this project, and the last one is the FX group where all the swooshes, down filters and FX stuff is laying around. I want to start with the main idea of the track. So it basically all began with this guitar sound, and I played around with the Serum preset and found this one. So here's the MIDI. Very mysterious, and the track is also in E minor. So a bit sad, moody vibe going on right here. And I decided to go an octave down for the beginning, so it's even more dark. So the track is based on this little guitar sound, and I've added all the other elements around this. And so the track came to life with every element. But let's start from the beginning. I found this vocal on Splice.
Stressed out, I ain't making it that easy now. Tapping out, I've given it all today.
And it was a bit longer. I shortened it and made it like a loops sound for the vocal. And in the beginning, I picked up the theme of the song, which is Stressed Out.
Stressed out.
And here we have a filter. As you can see, a high pass filter. So it adds up to the mood. And in the first part, the vocal is playing just along with a little bass sound. Just a little re-bass. And for this I also added some glide notes, which you can see here. This is the pitch bend in Ableton, and every now and then the note pitches up or down, as you can hear in this part. Here. Under the respace is also a sub bass playing, which is like an 808 thing. Has also the glide notes, the pitch up notes in it, and those two together are very nice for the mood with the vocals.
Stressed out, I ain't making it that easy now. Tapping out, I've given it all today.
In the next part, there's also the lead melody coming up, and I can show you the top lead melody. It is just 2 layers. One is this. And the other one is this one. So one is more the body of the sound, and the other is more high frequencies and just some grittiness. And both together playing until the drop. So staying on one note, and it builds up. I also used a little delay trick on the vocals. So this part of the vocal, I duplicated it and I'm going full wet into this H delay and reverse the phase, so no phase issues when playing both together. And it sounds like this. So you have the constant delay under the main vocal. And yeah, just repeat this part for build up. And right before the drop, there's this part again. What else we have in the build up are some effects like this snare loop or noise riser, down filters. That's already it for the build up. Now let's head over to the drop. In the drop section there are the drums. No drums in first place, but starting with the drop we have a kick. And also coming up in the second part some claps. As always, 2 clap sounds, 1 more body, 1 more high. And we have some cymbals, like a ride, open hi-hat, second hi-hat, more closed one, and in the next part also some little shakers in the background. So all the drums together sounds like this. I want to show you the group processing on the drum bus, and it's this Pultec EQ, boosting some of the lows and even the highs a bit. And after that, I'm going into some compression. As you can see here, it's not that much, but yeah, just when the kick and snare is hitting, they're tighter together. Next, we're going into some saturation, just a bit to add more harmonics. And the last one is just a simple EQ, cutting out the very, very low lows, to make room for the sub bass. And what is special about these drums, I used a parallel compression. And as you can see here, I have a parallel drums sent for this whole drum group. I'm sending the drums to the drum parallel drums channel, and I can solo it, and it sounds like this. So I can give more. It's a very, very compressed signal. I can show you with and without. So that's without and with. So just to bring a bit more grittiness and fatness to the drums, which is a great trick. And I used this TG12345 for it. It's a very nice compressor for groups. And before I go into this, I also cut out the lows just to make the signal as clean as possible. Now let's head over to the bass line. And the bass line is also very special because it's a combination of a long sustained bass and a shorter, just like a slap bass. So this is the more slappy layers. This one for the mids, more for the upper mids and highs, and even one just for the click. And behind all this slappy stuff is this sustained one, which is very nice. And this one is also automated, so the low cut is opening and closing again. So it's this constant changing the sound, which is really nice for the listener. To fill out the sub frequencies, I also added a sub bass separately. So as you know, I like to separate the high bass from the sub bass. Gives me more control. And here's just a light saturation and yeah, EQing out the highs and the very low lows. So it's just the sub bass only. And for group processing, yeah, it's not really a group, it's just one sound. But there's just a sidechain from the kick and even more sidechain because I want to have the initial hit right out of the way. And yeah, that's it for the sub bass. I can show you the group processing from the bass group as well. Here we have just a bit of compression to glue the sounds together. One time again the Saturn for tube saturation and a bit of EQing, cutting out the sub frequencies because we separated it in the other channel, and yeah, even cutting out the very highs. Yeah, just the LFO tool for sidechaining and yeah, another Pro C for sidechaining as well. For this group, I also added the Pro Q, yeah, and cut out all the side information on the low frequencies. So all frequencies above 150 Hertz are slightly stereo, but under the 150 Hertz is all mono. So drums, bass and sub bass together sounds like this. Next element in the drop is the lead synth I already explained to you, and yeah, this is also a combination of yeah, some automation of the two sounds. This one is open up and this one is getting shorter, so you can create a vibe just to the through the automation. Processed in a top lead group first, and I added the hybrid reverb, which I used the first time I think, but it works, and some delay, just a standard delay of Ableton with around 30%. So you have a bit of delay going on. And I also have this effect rack with the Echo plugin from Ableton, and it's just automated from time to time. So in this part you can hear it. It's yeah, it's very wide. Just to get another effect for the lead synth. And in this part I added it as well. And just right before the end of the drop. Now there's another sound which I haven't showed you. It's this one, and it's yeah, it's called Ear Candy, and I really used it for ear candy and also for atmospheric things. It's playing every now and then in the build up, in the drop, just to add something. And as you can hear in the part after the drop, it really adds to the mood of the whole track. So for the drop we're already done. Here are some little elements like this clap fill, or yeah, the FX stuff which I showed you in the beginning, like a sub drop, or we have a little crash. All these little things add up, and yeah, so the drop sounds like this. There's also this vocal delay trick I showed you already in the drop. So use the stressed out to
Stressed out.
being repeated and delayed as well. But there's one little thing in the drop as well. You can barely notice it, but it adds so much attention to the drop. And it's this little chord progression. Here is without.
Stressed out. I ain't making it that easy now. Tap
And
out.
with.
Stressed out. Stressed out. Stressed out.
In between the drop parts, there's also an important element. And it's also a very nice transition to the second part of the drop.
Tap out. Yeah, I'm giving it all today.
And a funny fact about this little sound, I used it one time in the first drop, and the second drop is a bit different from the first. I used it in between the drop as well. The drop starts,
Stressed out. I ain't making it that easy now. Tap
and
out.
it's playing right here again,
Today. Stressed out.
not just in this little part between.
Yeah, I'm giving it all today.
So it's also in the middle of one part again. Just to make the second drop a bit different from the first one. After the first drop, I'm bringing this guitar sound back for this very moody part. Also with this ear candy. And to change things up, I also pitched it an octave down again. So we have this calm down part, I guess, with a little string in the background. And also the drums are filtered. And even the vocals are playing a bit different, and I added format shift for this part. Also in the drop, the format shift is happening. And it felt very natural to me if I'm lowering the guitar sound by 1 octave. So why not format shifting the vocal down a bit? It really fits good together in my opinion. The next part is just like the one in the beginning, except for this ear candy sound, which is playing the whole time until the next drop.
Stressed out. I ain't making it that easy now. Tapping out. Yeah, I'm giving it all today. Stressed out.
And for the next build up, there's also another snare, second snare, which is playing every now and then between the drops, just a few notes. And in the second drop, it's playing also the same notes, but with the lead synth over it. Very nice together. Right before the drop, you noticed it's not the vocal right before the drop.
Giving it all today.
I replaced the vocal right before the drop with the synth. And as you can see here for the pre-drop, I also increased the width of the song, of the whole track. So it's even more big. And when it comes to the drop, I reduced it to 0, as you can see in this utility.
Stressed out.
Going up to 120%. When the drop hits, it's at 100 again. So when we play the drop without the vocal, you can feel the moving bass, which creates this tension in combination with the synth. It's pretty nice because there's so less sounds in the track, but it feels like there are so many because of the automation of the individual tracks. So in my opinion, this is what makes the track special and different from my other productions. I really tried to give this feeling, this moody vibe, this emotion with the guitar sound. And yeah, I guess I did it well. So if you have any question about automation, FX and synthesizers or I don't know, please ask in the comments. Another great tip I can give you is to sidechain clashing frequencies with the vocal through the vocal, like I did with the synth bass. So when it's playing, you see, I added this track spacer, and right now it's doing nothing. And when I activate the vocal, you see, whenever the vocal is playing, the whole synth group is ducked a bit. It's just on 12.5%. But it really cleans this vocal up a bit. For this production, it's not that necessary, but I like to have it at a low ratio. And for other productions, like some big room stuff or where the lead's really clashing with the vocal, it can be very helpful to know this little trick. As you know, on my master channel, there's not much going on. I have a Pro Q just for cutting out the lows while I'm mixing. It's off by now. And I have this utility so I can automate stuff right before the drop. Yeah, just for the video I have the standard clip, so the signal is a bit louder for you guys. Analyzing while I'm mixing, and this is my plugin for mixing with headphones. If it's necessary for you guys, if you have a good speaker system in a good treated room, this is, you won't use this. But for me, I'm all about mixing with headphones and in the box. So this one is really helpful for me. And as you know, I do my mastering in a separate project file. If you want to see this mastering project of Stressed Out, let me know in the comments and I will make a video about the mastering. That was the track check of Stressed Out, my first release in 2022. If you want to support me and the track, I will put down all the links for streaming and downloading in the description. And if you have any questions, ask in the comments and I will answer it for sure. See you next time.